You didn't have any symptoms?
Just carry on. I'm just going to fucking record it.
Okay. And he didn't have any symptoms,
Don't
really?
record us moaning, because I'm only 38. I'm not 40 yet, so, you know.
Oh, you're a
I'm not quite
youngster.
on the moan wagon yet.
You can afford to get
I'm just going to
COVID
start doing what
types.
Joe Rogan does and just start recording it. Because he doesn't do any introduction, does he?
I don't know. I never watched any of this stuff.
No, he doesn't do any. He just carries on. I think it just sort of spills over. He goes and has a game of pool in the other room, and then
Does he?
gets into his interview room. I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
Not that we haven't got a room, but yeah. Anyway, we are with Ryan Rolling Thundersmith. Eventually, we've been trying to schedule this chat for months, I think.
Yeah, we're here. Yeah, bloody
What do you
working,
reckon?
get in the way. But you know what? Because I think I literally heard of you guys through Dane. I did the thing for his Drunk for Song podcast like sometime last year.
Yeah.
And so that's how I heard of you guys. And literally for the past couple of months, you've done a lot of interviews with a lot of great, drummers. You've obviously, done stuff like Massive Wagons and then, Jackson Roxanne. But you've done like Steve Deal from like Buzzcocks, and you've had some really, good, big names on there.
Yeah.
And it's just, and watching and listening to like all the different, your interview style and everything, it's really good that obviously you're kind of exploring, not just the big artists, but you're kind of like your homegrown, your roots kind of music artists and stuff, the whole kind of spectrum.
Spectrum, yeah. That's what I was going to say.
And it's just interesting to hear everyone's story, from, you listen to, I don't know, Nicky D, for example, and you hear all the stuff, Lenny and everything. It's just, everyone's had a wild time. I think, it's what you're doing is really good, and, so just keep doing it.
Yeah, thanks,
Cool.
mate. Because
Oh,
I've just put it on our radio show, actually, because I put the radio show in today, which I did on my own again, Dave. And, I've been getting some criticism lately. It's people are not getting it, and it's a bit clunky, if you like, I mean, I'm not the most articulate kind of guy. I'm not really, well, I can't say I'm not really intelligent. I'm intelligent enough for what I do, work-wise, do you know what I mean? But, yeah, I'm not really well read, if you like. I don't read a lot. I've read a lot more since I've had a smartphone. But, I don't know. So I'm just trying to be, this year I'm trying to be, I am being a bit more positive. I'm making different changes in my life.
Good.
Hopefully I'm getting married this year, for sure.
Oh, well, congratulations on that.
Thanks. She doesn't know yet, but I've still got to dig her body about the garden.
Brilliant.
but it's in my garden in Wales and he lives in Holland.
But so I've got this thing now. I just came out with this thing, 2023 rhymes with positivity. So
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
so I'm plastering that everywhere now. That's my battle cry, if you like.
Yeah. Well, I think it's got to be a good year, isn't it? Because like last year, everything kind of like reopened. I worked from home for 2 years. Last year, I managed to get back into the office, started going out to gigs and stuff again, meeting up with all my gig mates, meeting up with lots of artists and different things. And that's kind of like what I do. So that, we don't go on holiday, me and the missus. We just go to festivals, however big they are, however little, and we go and support local bands and everything in the area. So, and that's kind of like what we enjoy doing. So, we did manage to get out to a lot of gigs last year, and I'm hoping to get, it should be a lot easier this year because you don't need COVID passports. You can just turn up and, enjoy the music and stand shoulder to shoulder with somebody with a pint and watch some music. And, that's kind of like what I'm really looking forward to, and, getting out and seeing a lot more. I keep promising I'm going to go. I got 2 local venues within probably 10 minutes of me. And I keep promising that I'm going to go up there. But one thing and another, I've just not been able to get up there. But we did get to like Planet Rock and Steelhouse, and I got to go and see Guns N' Roses. So we did do quite a lot last year, really, but not as much as we had been doing maybe in 2018, 2019 before it all started. But I'm hoping this year, we'll crack on. Because I heard of you guys, because I remember when Terry was saying about doing the interview, and I said I don't think I've ever seen you live, but for sure I've heard of you and I've listened to your music and stuff. but I think we've sort of just missed each other at different festivals or different venues or what have you.
Yeah, I mean, we did the
Um,
Patty Pavilion with Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. No, it wasn't like year before last. Went on tour with them for a bit. It's funny just talking about sort of getting out to places you haven't been to for a while or whatever. There's loads of people saying when you're coming back across the bridge to Wales, and it's like sort of patience. But honestly, I love Wales. We did Treco Bay and Rockstock back in 2018, and that was great. And that's kind of like when we made a lot of kind of Welsh stands and stuff. And I did the Patty, and people the people were surprised that we sort of supported Phil Campbell. To be honest, when we got the call to do it, it was kind of like right where. I guess kind of got one foot in the camp of rock and one foot in the camp of country. So when we do country festivals, we call ourselves like the bad boys of country because, we're not strictly, to the book of country. We like to kind of bit loud and lively, but then we go to a rock festival, we kind of fit in. But yeah, people are like never seen a pedal steel or a banjo at a Phil Campbell gig, but first time for everything. And do you know what? It went really, really well. And the Patty gig was, the last date of the tour. So it was like a homecoming gig, and it was great. It was, really, really good. Met Alid and stuff from Big Day Productions, and it was really good. Always have like it's like Wales and Scotland. You have such a real good sort of welcome for kind of rock music and drinking and whatever. But yeah, I just love both places.
yeah,
Drinking.
yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it's all about. I understand why you would probably have a good reception because if you're going to watch a band, you don't necessarily want a similar sounding band supporting them.
No.
So and then you get a bit of diversity as well, and it's nice to have because if you have the same noise all night, perhaps you get fed up with it by the time you get to Phil Campbell. Do you know what I mean? So having some different artists and different sounds is great. Like when I've been to Steelhouse Festival, and they integrate that a lot with blues artists as well. So and they have some acoustic sets going on there and different things as well, which break the day up. It's awesome.
I'd love to play Steelhouse. I think, well, maybe not this year, but next year I think it'd be good to, because again, it's kind of I don't get to see a lot of gigs because I'm just playing them, most of the time. But yeah, Steelhouse would be a good one. It's just the bands on there, year after year, are just so good. And I've got a couple of friends in Glenarvan and a few friends in Swansea and stuff. So
Yeah, get on there, man. Get on there. Do you know the boys that run it?
Oh, Max and Mikey, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like I said, we've tried to, for one reason or another, tried to do a gig in Wales, didn't happen, or whatever. Trying to get into a show, which is normally sort of the best way to see a band is live, because you often like listen to a CD and then you see a band live. It's often, obviously it's different in terms of obviously the experience and stuff like that. And I always think seeing a band live, that's kind of where it's at, because it's not just the band and what they do, the chit chat and stuff. It's the kind of the community and the vibe. You listen to a CD, it's great, but it doesn't give you that same rush as it does, being a festival. But yeah, Max and Mike, hopefully, when we come out back over to Wales, try and get into a show. But yeah, they're nice guys. They do a good job at Steelhouse, and probably one of the biggest festivals I think in the country.
Because do you play in any other bands?
Say that again.
Do you play in any other bands?
No, well, I mean, I've obviously currently no, but I mean, I've sort of done some depth work and things, played in covers bands. That's how I met Dave. We'll go into that in a bit. But in the years, I've played in like jazz metal, electro rock, kind of I've done the whole shebang, not kind of death metal. That's anything. Not I can't do. My feet don't move that fast. But yeah, literally, like musically, I'm everything from Buddy Holly to Slayer. It's quite diverse, because that's what my late dad brought me up, was like Buddy Holly, the Dean Martin, Sinatra, Michael Jackson, the Who, the Monkees, that kind of, and then when I went to uni and things, I got more into metal and really hard stuff. But things like Zeppelin and AC/DC, I got really late into, like probably 2000 when I go uni, 2004. So probably 2003, 2004, I got into like the classic rock bands. I think, why didn't I listen to Zeppelin? Because obviously, most drummers, they'll say their hero drummers is Bonham or something like that. And I was thinking, why did I get into them a lot later? But I just love everything. Motown, I love Motown music, Stevie Wonder. And so, yeah, it's quite diverse, but I don't say I listen to everything because it's like pop. I will section off certain things because objectively it's not my thing.
Yeah, no, I just wondered because sometimes I look at your Instagram and that, obviously, because we chat on there now and again. And yeah, I see you're always busy with the Outlaw Orchestra stuff, but I wasn't sure if you also played in other bands or not.
No, not at the moment. I'm kind of to diversify my playing and my musical maturity, hopefully do some depth work, maybe do some recording for some bands and things. Just, sometimes you want to, the Outlaws are my bread and butter. They're my main, priority. But yeah, I want to kind of do different stuff, and kind of want to learn to read drum music properly and things and just kind of, because I'm not, theory based. I'm all self-taught. That's kind of, listen to music all my life, and that's how I've taught myself, and a bit stubborn and lazy maybe for lessons. I've done it in the past, but kind of what you said about in being intellectual, you're clever enough for what you can do and stuff, and it's like my level of drumming, it's I'm good enough to be able to do what I'm able to do at my current sort of set of tools that I have, so to speak. But yeah, I'd like to diversify a bit more,
Yeah, okay.
but that's not like a hint, like I diversify, I'm going to leave this band, but no, just do some different stuff, and because I love jazz music and real kind of easy listening and like big band stuff. I played a lot of that when I was younger, so who knows?
Okay. Yeah. So what have you got coming up with the Outlaw Orchestra? Have you got any new material coming out, or?
So album 3 is next up. So we've got some songs which we've kind of put together, which we're currently trying to refine for the album. So that might be out. I don't know if it'll be out next year. I think we're going to maybe try and put out maybe an EP next year, which could possibly be a bit more viable, because we had the Christmas single, which was filmed by Chris Barris, came out recently, and that's been doing sort of the rounds on radio and press. But I mean, in terms of like, we've got so many gigs next year just being filled up sort of non-stop, so we're kind of trying to work out where we're going to be in the country sort of from one week to the next, and how I'm going to get time off work. But yeah, so it's just gigging is really, really, really busy, and like the PR side, there's lots of stuff going on sort of, which we can't see. So we're working on a lot of things, trying to get out of the UK, maybe into Europe, and maybe towards America. So there's lots of irons in the fire, and so it's just really, really busy.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. I mean, that's how you get to meet people anyway, innit? Is get out there and play shows. That's what it's all about, innit? And that's, for me, I love a CD, but I'd much rather see somebody live. And
But most of our fans, we call them, we don't call them fans anymore. We call them friends, because I mean the amount of good friends and stuff I've made through being in the Outlaw Orchestra. I've made loads of friends. I mean, there's a guy called Mike Hughes, who basically does our sort of bookings, management, security, because he used to be a semi-pro boxer. So if there's any trouble, he'll help out. But yeah, he's been following us for quite a while, and yeah, he's kind of now stepped in and sort of taking some of the admin kind of side away from us, which means we can kind of, I guess, focus on
more on the music,
writing more music, focus on making the set tighter and stuff like that. So yeah, and he's a really nice guy. He's like one of the he's one of my sort of best mates. But yeah, he's just he's such a laugh. He comes on to gigs and does not all the lifting, but yeah, he's a good egg to have, because he keeps us on the straight and narrow, and make sure there's no funny business.
He's not in charge of website, is he?
No, that's I think that's Dave. So
I was going to say, because your website's not really up to date, is it?
Oh, has it still got our old dates on it?
Yeah. I'm just looking at it now. 17th of November through to 16th of December with Blackwater Redemption. 17th of December with Bad Touch.
I'll get on to him and tend to update that.
So yeah, we don't really know what you got coming up, which is why I had to ask.
You know what? It's funny, because some people say like about social media and stuff, is some people will ask where you're playing, and be like, oh, look at our Facebook, and most of the time that's where most of the gigs are on. But I don't know, like I don't think people, I should say a massive band or whatever, I don't think people really use official band websites anymore. Everything's like on social media messages, and no one emails anyone anymore. So yeah, I think as sort of the year sort of creeps on, probably towards the end of this month, you'll see sort of dates popping up. There's some which we've been confirmed for, but they haven't like announced the lineups yet. So there'll probably be like a massive flurry of announcements on our Facebook page come sort of end of January. Sorry.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's a shame. I mean, we've got a website. I don't think many people use it, to be honest.
You do.
I do, yeah. I go on it. Well, I haven't done anything on it for a few weeks, a few months maybe. I haven't even updated it, but yeah, I'm just as guilty of that, to be
It's finding
honest.
time to do it all, isn't it? That's the trouble, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. The last few weeks have been a bit crazy, with Christmas and stuff.
Yeah, and
Certainly.
then back into the normal way of life, kind of put 22 behind you, all the baggage and whatever, and on with new adventures.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Well, I work shifts as well, so it's a bit difficult.
Right.
But I was thinking, maybe we can get like a subscription site, get
Okay.
people to pay $5 a month,
So
and
kind
then
of
we
like a
got.
Patreon sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know if I really want to go to the Patreon route because they charge you like 12%, don't they?
Right. Okay. I wasn't sure what the.
Yeah, I think it's around 12% they charge Patreon.
You're gonna have to
Just
give them something extra, mind, for that then.
Well, I
well,
said,
what I
yeah.
what I was thinking was because we do when I put the videos on YouTube, I'm always including bands' music,
Yeah.
Hmm.
but then we can't monetize our YouTube
No,
channel because we get copyright flags.
that's it.
So what we could do is just get a license,
Hmm.
like a radio license, PPS, and make a subscription site, and then see if those 1,000 members on the YouTube will switch over and pay us a $5 a month.
You know, idea?
You never know. I know that's Dane does that, doesn't he? He's got like I think
Dane's
he
got
uses
Patreon,
Patreon, doesn't
yeah,
he? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, you got your. I mean, we don't have much time to make extra content, or I don't have much time to make extra content, so I wouldn't really know how to work a Patreon account
Mm.
because you've got like different levels. I've looked into it, but you've got different levels and different tiers of, and then you've got to give some people, or you've got to give people extra stuff. So the
Yeah.
higher they
Yeah.
pay, the more stuff you've got to
The more
give
they get.
them,
Yeah.
and I haven't got time to do that, to be honest. But I would probably put like a bit more effort into our videos because if I really want to monetize the YouTube channel, I've got to start putting bands' music in,
Mm.
Mm.
you know, and then yeah, I mean that's what makes our podcast a little bit different. I think it's because we do like to, or I like to include,
Yeah, it's
the
good.
band stuff, videos and stuff, and I mean I fell off it for a while, not putting so much stuff in, but that's so purely because we can't get monetized,
Mm.
Mm.
you know.
But and it's good because it introduces the viewers to the band as well.
Well,
Then, so
exactly. It's not just
not
about
only
us
do they,
rambling on,
yeah,
is it?
that's right. Yeah, it's important for them to listen to the music at the same time. So
Yeah, I don't understand the point of having somebody on your podcast and then you can't promote their music through it, and people are just gonna like listen to us talking crap for an hour or whatever, and then not have a clue what you sound like as a
mm,
band. It doesn't
that's
make
why.
sense to me.
No, but that's
Yeah.
whenever I post stuff on Facebook, that's why I chuck all the links in there then and
Yeah,
put
well, we put the
you
links
know
on the Facebook,
yeah,
but on
and
the
then
YouTube,
share their
sorry, but
videos and stuff.
yeah,
But yeah, it is
but
great.
it just gives you that little bit of extra. Oh, these are a good band,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, you wanna be what they like, don't you?
Yeah, and I always tag a video on the end and stuff. But
So
yeah, it's all about copyright, and then we get flagged, and yeah, well then we can't monetize anything. So
mm,
it's a bit
that's
of a
it.
shame.
That's it.
I was
Oh
going to
well.
try and get whitelisted by the record companies, but that just seems like hassle because then you get whitelisted, and then it doesn't matter what you put on YouTube. But
Yeah,
then what record companies are going to say? Oh yeah, just use our videos and make money off them.
that's it. I know.
Not
That's it.
many, is there?
No, I always go to my go-to. I go straight to Spotify. So like I have now before the interview, I've had a good listen to your stuff on Spotify, to be honest, and that's kind of like where I get it all from. And then when you want to watch a video, I've gone on and watched some of your videos as well on YouTube because your content is all on there anyway. But that tends to be what I do. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's possible. I
got
mean,
some good music as well. I got to be honest. I had a good listen with which albums I was listening to. Making Tracks. So I had a good
yeah, the last one we released recently.
yeah.
Well,
I went
last
through
year.
all those earlier on. There's some really really good stuff on it. Really good.
We're all really proud of making tracks. We spent a bit more time on the album, on the songs, the production, just kind of everything. The order of the album, and because we've had some sort of lineup changes over since we started in 2000 and say officially as like a different lineup, like the initial lineup. I think we started in 2016, maybe. Yeah, 16, 17. And then we had like the harmonica player we had at the time, he left. And the banjo player, we had a young guy called Stephen who was about 17, I think, at the time, or 18. Phenomenal player. He left to like teach English in, I don't know, somewhere in Africa. And then sort of got sort of the lineup that we have now. Alex, the double bass player, he sort of left because he had like his own business, which was just taking up a lot of his time. So yeah, we're sort of like we're a three-piece, and it works. Dave does guitar and bass at the same time, which does a really good job, and kind of means you all fit in one van as well.
Yeah.
So kind of being the three pieces, well, I think it has more of its benefits than its sort of cons. But a lot of people kind of, I don't know, they kind of get worried. But when you see lineup changes, but it happens. It's just kind of sometimes it's musical differences, which sometimes can be often the case, or just you just got to follow other avenues. But music, like I said, has always been part of my life, and I started drumming when I was about 11, 12. So I think I've been drumming for about 26, 27 years or something like that. A fair while. And yeah, the music that I play with the band anyway is kind of, I wasn't really into country when I was at uni. So when I joined a covers band called Hazzard County with Dave, that's kind of how I got into I had my first taste of country and southern rock. I mean, it was quite the story of my first gig with them is quite funny, because I was in Cornwall with family, and I went along to this pub weeks before, and with my wife and her dad, went and saw them because Rosie's dad was like, go and check this band out, you might like them. And then I was like, I'd like to give it a go, because I've never actually really done covers. All the stuff I've done in the past is originals. So anyway, they gave me a card and they said, look, give us your number, and if we have a gig we want you to do a show for, we'll let you know. So literally the night before we came back from Cornwall, they said, do you want a gig? And I was like, well, I'm coming back from Cornwall tomorrow. I said, yeah, it's fine. So I said, what's the set? And they said it was like a 60, 70 song set. And I mean, like Sweet Home Alabama, Freebird, the usual kind of Southern rock country songs, Ring of Fire, whatever. So I knew like about 5 out of 70 songs. Got back from Cornwall, hot-footed up to, where was it? It was a place, Golden Eagle in Southsea. And I managed to get through the 70 songs relatively unscathed. I think between sets, I was kind of had my headphones on listening to these songs which I've not really heard before, and it was great. So yeah, that's how I met Dave. That band sort of split up, and then we joined the band. It was called a while ago, and now so the rest is kind of history. But it's been a long kind of journey with the band. We played with loads of great bands, loads of great festivals. Like Rambling Man. A couple of rock. Was it Winter's End? Yeah, we did that, and then we did Rockstop the same year. A lot of hard rock hell festivals, Rock in the Bowl, which is run by Steve Hughes and Zany. They didn't put one on last year.
Yeah, it all fell apart last year a bit, didn't
it? It's quite expensive to do a festival, but we did this sort of fundraising type thing at the County Music Bar, which is now called Gasoline in Chesterfield. So, kind of a lot of bands who were going to play Rock in the Bowl and bands who previously played it, just got together and, basically gave them the money and sort of, I think they'll return one day. I think because I think the issue is, not enough people buying advance tickets. That's really the issue for a lot of venues, because you can't rely on, it's not a business model to rely on walk-in business. It's not sustainable. It just doesn't work like that. So I hate the COVID word and everything like that, and it's not, I don't think still things are back to normal in any sort of way, shape or form, because there's a lot of hesitancy around big gatherings. Okay, your Reading festivals, they're still putting downloads or whatever, but I just think there's a lot of venues over the years have closed down. Some really good venues and promoters, they've just so it is still difficult. But for saying all of that, the time I have with the band, it's amazing. The people we meet on the road is great. We play with some great bands, some great venues, and we have a really good time. And do you know what? That kind of supersedes all the COVID stuff. I mean, you've got to be cautious when you're cautious, but we just have so many shits and giggles, and it's great. And there's just so many stories that I get to tell my kids,
Yeah. Well, that's what's important, isn't it? Getting out there, enjoying yourselves and making new friends, and and it is unfortunate with the way the COVID thing went down, I guess. And I know that Rock in the Bowl had to go down last year now, isn't it? And it was purely advanced ticket sales. I mean, they were quite open about it. They did a live Q&A on the internet, and it was nice to see all the bands come together actually in support and do those support gigs in Sheffield as well.
The desire to go to gigs is there. I think possibly going to gigs, obviously, it's like as much as you want to do it, it's not like an essential. It's kind of almost become a bit of a little bit of a luxury. I mean, obviously, like loads of big bands, not naming names, who've kind of pulled tours because even ticket sales weren't great. So it's kind of like at one end, extreme end of the spectrum, there's it's still difficult, and even at like the grassroots level, it's it is still the same. But it will change eventually. But I said when we're not going to keep stop doing it. There's lots of bands that going to keep carrying on because you need live music in kind of whatever shape or form, whether you play in front of like 100 people or like 100,000. It's thing is you're still getting out there and doing, and it's what Pete says to me quite often, well, to all of us, and it is very true. We are relatively ordinary people doing extraordinary things, because it is kind of, I agree with him on that, but being in a band is kind of like, what's the word? It's quite a unique thing and a very privileged thing to actually be doing, because there's people who say not in whatever position to be able to do it, but it's because obviously there's like the long drive, I don't know, crap hotels, crap food or whatever, so there's probably some things that might put people off. But I mean, talking of logistics, say the worst drive. So before we did a festival in One Lockhead in Scotland for a festival called Wildfire, basically Pete, he was working in Stockholm for his job, and they had like some conference meetings, so he was over there, and then his flights got cancelled and everything, and we weren't sure if he was going to make it back home for the festival the next day in Scotland. So what happened, he got back home in Wimborne for midnight. Me and Dave got the van, drove and got Pete, and I think we got into Scotland maybe about 8:30, staying in some little hotel in a service station, and festival I think we played at 2:30. Went back to the hotel after watching a couple of bands and things, and I think we ended up going to bed at 8 o'clock or something like that. It's like the earliest we've ever, and honestly we were so knackered. But you know what, again, through all that long drives and whatever, the festival was great. It was amazing. And I love Scotland anyway, and I got to have some whiskey, so it was all good for me. But yeah, for all the shit or whatever you can sort of throw at anyone, a band, it just kind of relatively pales sort of into insignificance. But yeah, I just love it. I said, just hanging out with my best mates and just having a good time. That's what it's it's all about. You can easily get bogged down in trivial things.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like you said, you've had some lineup changes as well. I mean, how's that affected your mental health? Because it's quite stressful being in a band. I mean, sometimes you can feel more like a family, but then on other times you can feel so far apart, so distant, so stranger. I was going to say strangerish, but stranger isn't a word, is it? So stranger-like, I suppose. Especially when you start fighting about silly little things, and I mean, I know I've been in that situation myself, but yeah, sometimes it can be a bit draining as well.
Yeah, I think it can be, especially say for example, just hypothetically, you want a lineup change to happen for like whatever reason, because like I said, musical differences and whatever. But I mean, it's kind of really, like I said, it's evolution as much as it's kind of made things awkward at times or not. I think it's all for the greater good, like the whole thing. Everything happens for a reason. I do believe that is as much as at the time you might think it's just a terrible idea or whatever, eventually you kind of collect your thoughts and things together. You realize that actually what happened, I moved to Hailing. If I hadn't have moved to Hailing, I wouldn't have gone to the covers band, I wouldn't be in the band that I'm in now. So again, it's all the kind of mystic puzzle pieces start moving sort of beknown to yourself, and things come together, and you just kind of let things do their thing.
Yeah.
and just go with it. And I said, me and the guys, me, Dave and Pete, yeah, it's kind of, say love hate relationship or whatever. Yeah, we are a family. We've all got each other's backs. As much as, I don't know, someone will really disagree with a guitar chord, a drum beat, or song suggestion or whatever. At the end of the day, it's kind of it's a team effort, and yeah, it sort of almost doesn't matter.
Well, here's a question for you then.
Go.
Seems as you think that everything happens for a reason,
Okay.
do you also think that everything doesn't happen for a reason?
On the flip side, yeah.
You must do if you believe the one, and you cannot believe the other, can you? So do you believe, or do you believe, I don't know if you've ever won the lottery. Have you ever won the lottery? Like £1 million?
100 quid, but yeah.
But okay, do you believe that you won't win £1 million for a reason?
Who knows? Don't know.
No,
What do you reckon,
don't.
Dave?
I don't know. I don't do the lottery anymore, and I'm still
Well, you're
not a
never going to
millionaire.
win it.
Well, no, but I'm still not a millionaire by saving the pound either. So it doesn't make much difference, to be honest.
You'll never be a millionaire working for a fucking boss. I'll tell you that much.
No, some people are.
Who?
Footballers, they work for people.
Oh yeah, footballers. Yeah, but that's a different story, footballers.
Yeah,
I
is,
don't
yeah.
believe footballers should get paid as much money as they do.
No.
No, it goes down the whole rabbit hole of footballers, nurses, and all that stuff. Things is like entertainment. I've and this is what I've always thought, like governmentally, there's not enough money. As much as you've got the Music Venue Trust, who do a really, really good job in things and venues and things, just governmentally, there's never enough money that's contributed put into the arts. Not say the arts, but like music. Because okay, football brings in X amount of however many gazillion into the economy, but music actually, brings a lot of money. I don't know, but I just think it brings a lot more money than people know. And the thing is, like, I'm not going to get political because I'm not political, but is I think you get your culture secretaries or secretary of art and whatever, I don't think they ever think it's a job title they're kind of given or they've fallen into, and don't really truly understand the kind of the workings of the music industry, gigs, venues, bands need to get paid, and hotels, food, and all that stuff. It's such a complex thing being in a band, really, because I've Dane inspired me to do like what you do and what he does and stuff, but I kind of want to try and explore every different like musician in a band, but the promoters, the photographers, all the different people that make music happen, the bands, the promoters, all that. But also there's like the struggles in kind of making it happen, because playing a gig is not just the band turns up and that's it. It's like, the petrol, all these other little elements that sort of come together. So I think, I don't think some of the politicians have a true understanding of the industry, really. And I think maybe that's why
they ain't got a clue, are they?
I think
you can tell that.
You
can tell that when they said, when COVID happened and they said, oh, all musicians need to retrain and do something different.
Yeah.
They pinpointed and singled out musicians. They didn't say it to anybody else.
No, I didn't say it's footballers. I didn't say
no.
go and become a chef,
No, no, that's right. So they really don't understand the industry. They really don't.
No,
I'm not going to deny the entertainment that sports bring. That's fine. But I just think music's kind of, that's what I'm passionate about. I want to see generally, it to thrive, and it is thriving, at its own pace. But there's still, I think there's a lot more work to sort of be done to. I'm not even saying bring it back to once it was, because whatever's happened has happened, and that it's never going to be the same. But just to kind of bring it to some level of, I don't know what word I'm looking for. Abundance, maybe, kind of.
Level of abundance, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking because there's probably a lot more bands than there are football teams.
I don't know. Yeah. No, I don't think so.
I would say so. I mean, there's millions and millions of bands in there.
Yeah, but there's lots of little football teams and
there's little football teams, but
and all that.
So I was just thinking maybe we could have like a football league, like the Premier League, and then League 1, 2, 3, and 4 for bands, just to get that sort of understanding within the government level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've got your Premiership bands, haven't you? I don't know, Iron Maiden and all them lot,
Yeah.
Paul Potts, for example, all the top tier guys that are killing it, with massive audiences. And then you've got your first division, second division. As you draw a crowd, I suppose, then it would go down further and further. And then obviously the more people you draw in, the higher you go up the league.
Yeah.
And then maybe, given that sort of fundamental understanding to the government, they could do something a little bit different with it.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it could be, couldn't it? I just thought of that on the spot. God, see, I'm not that dull, am I?
Yeah, you have a battle of the bands playoff then for promotion and relegation, maybe, or something.
Yeah, the FA Cup.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it should be a festival.
Yeah, it could do. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think out of the box.
Really. I think obviously the problem with kind of a lot of what happening in COVID, I'll reclaim something else, is there are people who are just in bands and that's their day job. And that's what obviously killed off some bands because they just couldn't afford to feed their families and stuff. So it was very sad, but I mean, certainly luckily, but I've always worked, so obviously I've got a day job and the band is a sort of a
hobby.
Yeah,
it can be a hobby because you get paid.
It's a passion.
Yeah, an expensive hobby. Yeah, a professional hobby. But I mean, to be honest, I'd love, say, forget reality and all that. I'd love the band to be like a full-time thing. I'd love to tour the world, take the kids and the wife and whatever, and that'd be amazing. How the band would or wouldn't get to that stage, I said I don't know. You just kind of, it's one of those things. Who was it? I interviewed the drummer more for my series. It was at a festival, and he basically said, "Let's stop worrying about tomorrow or the day after. Worry about it's like worrying about today. Let today do today, and let tomorrow kind of work itself out when tomorrow what happens." It's fine having your goals, your aspirations, where you want to be. That's fine. Like I said, however realistic or unrealistic they are. But I always think, aiming
big
high is, I try and, in anything, try and aim high generally. I've got aspirations and things like that. But yeah, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? But I think, the band's doing really well, and I think, it's one of those things like with the right people and a lot of the time money, whatever. You could kind of the sky's the limit. But to be honest, I don't really give a shit about fame, millions, billions, or whatever. Like I want to play with some. I'd love to support Brothers Osborne, the Cadillac 3, and
well, you're not allowed to take your wife and your kids on tour, don't you?
Say again?
You're not allowed to take your wife and kids on tour.
You can. You just lock them in the boot.
No, if you go.
What do you mean you can't take them on tour?
No, it's a tour thing, mate. You're not allowed. It's purely a band thing. Bands go on tour, wives stay at home. It's a band thing. David, you've never been in a band, you wouldn't understand.
I don't. I think if that was my what's the word? My motto, I don't think I'd be married anymore.
No, you'd have to break the mold.
Yeah, maybe. Well, my kids have seen me play a few times. It's great. Sometimes I think,
you take them to a gig, but you're not taking them on tour, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, because maybe. I don't know.
It's not much fun.
Ryan, you do. You just say if you do, mate. Don't listen to it.
It's not much fun being in the back of a tour bus with your wife and your kids, and you got your other band members there.
Yeah, I don't know how it would work. Yeah.
Just saying. Sorry, Mrs. Ryan, but
Or they can just slip some sleeping pills into their fruit shoots or whatever, and whatever the wife drinks.
Oh, I don't know about that, mate. Now you're opening another can of worms. You'll have the Madeleine McCann squad on us soon.
Oh God.
So I don't know. I'm bringing the tone down now, I guess.
That's fine. I got to have a sense of humour.
Well,
why not?
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I've said some risky things, but thankfully we haven't been cancelled just yet.
You have.
Oh, I have actually. Do you know what we said? I said something on one of the last podcasts, and David messaged me and told me to take it out. And I never said it. You said it.
I know. I said it. Yeah, I know. Because I thought about what I'd said, and I thought, nah, maybe Not today.
He sent me a message saying, "Please take it out because I don't want to get sacked by my boss."
I was just in a funny mood that day. I'm always the same. When I'm really tired, I try to be the more level-headed of the two of us. But when I'm really tired, it's unbelievable what nonsense comes out. Unfortunately, my filter goes and everything. But, Terry, don't filter me.
Yeah, I'm learning to filter myself. David's slipping by
Yeah.
the wayside.
So we were talking about it a bit earlier on. When are we going to see you over the bridge again? Then, got anything planned?
I was saying earlier.
Or even
Well,
Bristol? I love Bristol, and there's some wicked venues in Bristol, isn't there?
we did Beckler again with Phil. That was a great. It's been on my bucket list of venues to play for God knows how long, and it's an amazing venue. Like you kind of see it from the outside, it's a boat, and you go inside, you think, God, how have they managed to, in the hull of the boat, they've created this amazing, real kind of steampunky industrial, music venue. So, yeah, I mean, we've got, I think we've got some plans, sort of Gloucesterish way, a bit past Bristol. Do you know what? I'm struggling to keep track of what we've got booked for next year. It's all on my phone in a calendar. But we are going Bristol way. Wales, like I said, nothing's confirmed yet. I said not for this year anyway. I keep saying next year because it's like I still feel.
It's definitely this year now, isn't it? Yeah.
It's kind of feels almost too soon to be saying next year. So actually, only into the year for like 4 or 5 days. But yeah, so there'll be plans to come to Wales hopefully this year. But I don't know. Because we did play the Patriot, and the other two did because I got across the bridge, and then my wife phoned me and said, son's got COVID, and I had to phone the band, and I just literally had to turn back and drive back home to Hayling, which is where I live. So they did a sort of a duo thing, but there's so many good venues in Wales. I mean, I know you've got like the Patriot, the Tivoli, Fuel, which I've been to once. It's got a good scene. There's loads of really good kind of country pubs and stuff like that. So because we still play pubs, it's kind of you get to kind of cut your teeth and test new material and things like that, and no one's going to particularly judge you harshly. And then just get shit faced with the landlord afterwards. So just as long as the website gets like that, you look on Facebook, you'll see where we're going to be. But we are going to be up and down the country, probably Scotland again, because we seem to be we go up that way for about twice a year. Keep an eye out. We'll be sort of on your doorstep, so to speak.
Yeah, good.
A long way to go to Scotland, isn't it? Because where are you guys from? And you're from Kent area?
Southampton.
So Pete was he is a man of Kent, but he lives in Wimborne. Dave lives in Southampton. I live Hayling, so kind of near Portsmouth. So South Coast. Scotland is far, but it's, to be honest, we've done so many like journeys to like Sheffield and things like that. So we do, I drove to Scotland for my stag do with my best mate Pat, and we drove to Fort William, like climbed Ben Nevis and whatever, and anywhere just even around the corner now, because I've driven to Scotland and back, and it's like it's only up the road, but it doesn't seem that far. And I just love it. We've actually got a massive following up in Scotland, which is weird. I mean, actually, the weird thing is, pre-going to Scotland, our biggest fan base, and this is fact, is our adopted hometown is Sheffield. I don't know how many we've played Sheffield more times than we have anywhere else, and it's just kind of like the kind of rock scene up there, just hospitality, and Sheffield's not really that far away, to be honest. But I just want to go back to Scotland because I just love the apart from the whiskey, I love the scenery. It's just really, really, really nice.
Lush, I've only ever been to Edinburgh, but it's such a, beautiful city, and I've always fancied doing kind of like the tour around, like you said, Fort William and everything, and up to all the different locks and what have you. But definitely want to do it one day. We've got a camper van now, so hopefully we'll get to do it. So it's a stunning country, absolutely stunning. And like I said, the people are wicked, aren't they? They're awesome.
Cornwall's a place, that kind of way we want to play. We've done Devon a few times, never done Cornwall, so I love Cornwall. And again, there's loads of really cool places. You go down like Exeter, Plymouth, you've got quite a few venues. But we'll get there. It's literally just time and getting it all done. And you know, I mean, the more time, the more time I get to spend away from my wife and kids, the better. No, 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 no. You know what? No, I love
Because
being
do
at
all
home.
three of you work full time then?
No, I mean, my kids are
Not
5.
you and your family, your band.
We did 3. So Dave's a goldsmith. So and he's bloody good at making jewelry. He made my wedding band and this sort of skull ring. Yeah, so he's very good. His missus does. How do I describe what she does? It's kind of like there's like stolen artifacts or whatever, and it's kind of he works on a team to kind of try and get it back and investigate where things have been stolen from. So that's quite interesting.
Oh,
Pete,
that's cool.
yeah, Pete works full time from home. So yeah, we all work full time. I mean, Dave, he's kind of sets his own time really, man of leisure. But yeah, that's his kind of his his area. But yeah, we make it work, regardless of because to be honest, our jobs are very flexible. Like I said, Dave can be as flexible as he wants. Yeah, we make it work.
Talking about stolen artifacts, did you hear that podcast from Joe Rogan the other day with John Reeves from Alaska? He's a guy from Alaska, and he's got this place called the Boneyard.
Rings a bell, but go on.
And they found like all these woolly mammoth tusks in a 5-acre area. They reckon there's 10,000 woolly mammoths have died there.
Oh, okay.
So, and apparently these woolly mammoth tusks are worth a fortune.
Mm.
And he's just given the site away. He gave the site away on Rogan, actually, but a part of it's like under this massive river. And a pair of 12-foot mammoth tusks, not mammoth tusks, are worth about $500,000.
Crikey.
So I'm thinking about getting backpacking, going off to Alaska.
So are they? Because they won't be fossilized, will they? Because
they were frozen.
That was it was only 50,000 years ago, wasn't it? The Pleistocene ice age. So they won't be fossilized.
They're
ivory
frozen.
still, won't they?
Yeah.
It'll still be ivory.
They're what he's doing is he's melting this big ice wall because he owns all the land. He owns like 10,000 acres or something. Because he bought it all because he started off as a gold miner. And he ended up with all this land. And then he came across this, they call it the Boneyard, because now they're just finding all these bones from everything, from like an American lion, a dire wolf they found, all these mammoth bones, full skeletons, a fully frozen mammoth with fur, which they were eating. They decided to eat some of it. And it's like 12,000 plus years old, It's all frozen. It was all frozen solid. So it's wild, like. But he said he's trying to create a bone rush where people can go and dig for bones. And then but he's got, if you look at his Instagram site, this John Reeves character, he's got hundreds and hundreds. He said he's stopped counting how many mammoth tusks he's got. Simply because it's just no point keep counting them. It's amazing how many dead animals there are in this small space. And nobody knows, all these paleontologists and everything, that they've said that these animals wouldn't live there naturally. But he said, well, why wouldn't they be living here? Because they fucking died here, like.
Yeah, so why did they go there in the first place?
Yeah,
Or
but
did they
there's
just
thousands
go
of
there?
them. Yeah.
I haven't heard of that. I'm going to have a look into that after I like all that stuff, don't I? So,
Well, listen to Rogan's podcast because the guy's on there. I was listening to it last night in work. It's incredible, really. Amazing story. But yeah, let's change the subject.
No, it's just makes you feel almost a bit insignificant. But yeah, blimey.
Yeah, that just came up because you said about stolen artifacts. I know they're not really stolen, but
Yeah.
they're definitely artifacts,
Someone's going to go and steal him if he's given away, like you said, the location.
Yeah, well, that's like I said. Now he's trying to get this bone rush going. I think he wants more people. I don't know if he wants more people to be wealthy but
he probably wants to control it, so they'll have to pay him to go there, won't they?
I was going to say, yeah, pay him a percentage,
Yeah, I think for one thing, I think he was charging like 20% or something. But
yeah.
That was for, he's got like loads of moose on his land, and they do like moose hunts. And he charges, if you want to come and hunt a moose, he charges you a quarter of a moose. So if you actually hunt and kill a moose, he'll take a quarter of a moose off you.
Which quarter?
And then he donates the meat to, then he donates the meat to like homeless charities and stuff.
Oh, that's all right then.
That's good, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a decent bloke.
Yeah, he's huge. I saw a picture of him, he's massive.
Mm.
But him and all his family.
From shooting a moose, which I'm not overly for. I'm happy to eat meat, but I don't like promoting people to go and shoot things. I'm an animal lover, and I'm not a fighter.
I don't know. Where do you think you get your meat from, Dave?
Asda. And where they get it from is up to them.
You're
not a vegetarian, are you, Ryan?
No, the other guys in the band are, but no, I like I like a nice bit of a steak as the next man.
Mm. Yeah, okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah,
we like a salad at the same time, so
You like a what?
I said at the same time I do like a salad, so.
Oh yeah, it goes well with a steak.
I was gonna say put meat on it.
And your kebab. That's right, yeah.
All right then, mate. Well, finally, it's been great to talk to you because it's been a while trying to get it all set up.
Well, hopefully we'll see each other in person at a gig.
I hope so, mate. Because like I said, I've had a good listen to your music, and it's really cool. I love it. I got to be honest, it's really
live. Good. It's a hell of it's a lot of fun. It's it's great. It's so because Dave, if you see any like live videos, that's it's crept up on YouTube or whatever. Like there's quite a few from Rockin' the Bowl. You obviously catch some of Dave's wit on stage, and you can't do that on a CD. Honestly, it's just so funny. What I say to some people, it's like, come to see us. It's a 2-for-1. You get to watch the music and you get to listen to a bit of stand up as well. And some of his jokes are intentionally poor, but no, the stories he's got honestly just so interesting. Because he got to hang out with Lemmy because he's got friends in Long Beach in California, and he went to the Rainbow Bar and Grill, and he sat in a corner with his Mrs. Kathy, and some bloke pulled up a chair, and Dave started talking, and Lemmy turned to Dave and said, Southampton or Portsmouth? And he could tell, apparently Lemmy had a real good knack for picking out accents, and he could tell that Dave was sort of Southampton based, and they just had a laugh, and just Lemmy drank him under the table to Jägermeister as he did, So I don't know the point I was trying to make there. What was the point I was trying to make?
Well, I think
about meeting you at a gig.
Yeah, and it's it's more than just listening to the music, and that's what you want, don't you? You want to, as a punter, you want a performance, you want to be entertained. That's what it's all about. So,
he's a good front man, Dave. Honestly, like the way he can work the audience, he's very good. Because I'm not a singer, it's a very difficult thing to do, being a front man. Because you go and see some bands and they're great at music, but they're kind of quite still and not really sort of doing much. And you've got other bands who are, I know, like your Steel Panthers, who are kind of the other end of the spectrum. But if you get to come to a gig, tell you what, I promise you, I'll buy you each a beer. First beers are on me, or Bailey's, whatever you drink. We'll have a bloody good time.
Yeah, brilliant. No, definitely, mate. I will keep an eye on your Facebook, and as soon as there's a gig fairly close, I'll come and watch you. Gloucester's on over the road as well, so that's not far away either.
Yeah, Gloucester Guildhall in, I think, last year. Yeah, the 17th. That was good. That's the one. That was the one with Bad Touch, which we're still playing apparently.
Right. Anyway, I'm going.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enjoy the rest of the week and the rest of the year. But I'm pretty sure we'll see one of you before before the year's out.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely, it'll be me.
Look after yourselves. Try and stay positive. And
hey, 2023 is the year of positivity.
Yeah.
I'm a rapper now.
Get it tattooed on your arm. Because every time you look at it, you go,
23.
I think his arms are full. He probably have to get it on his leg or something.
I put it on my cock, but I didn't get the 2 on there.
You could have it across your butt cheeks. Just put 2 and a 2-3.
But people might think that's how many people you slept with, maybe. I don't know. Historically.
Don't go into that.
No, that's for another chat offline.
That's another show, yeah.
They definitely have to have 2023 on there.
So, yeah, look after yourselves. Like I said, stay safe, stay positive, and yeah, keep going to festivals and supporting music.
Yeah,
we'll
keep
do, man.
rocking.
Take care. Yeah, keep rocking.
All right.
And
No
loving
worries.
the album, man.
Thanks, man.
Ryan.
Catch you guys soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey,
See ya.
bye.
Bye-bye.
At the 20-yard line.
$129.
Hey, this is 98.2.5, the Rattlesnake. And we've got some good old boys from the deep south of the UK, the Outlaw Orchestra. God dang it, we've got ourselves a power cut. Tell me, can you boys do acoustic?